Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Krista Wiley. I am a 1-star platinum and IATAN card holder. You guys, today we're going to go over Royal Caribbean group cruises. So we are going to dive into that. First and foremost, is everyone registered with Royal Caribbean? Has everyone, it's Cruising Power. I know that the website is different. It's not Royal Caribbean, it's Cruising Power. Everyone is registered with them. Perfect, perfect. That's obviously step one. Right. Typically with my trainings, I have you guys follow along, but with a group booking, I wouldn't suggest it because you guys don't want to have to go back and delete the group cruise or whatnot. And so I want you guys just to kind of take notes. I want you to watch what I'm doing. I actually do have a group booking that I have to set up. And so I was waiting for today to actually put it together. So you guys can actually watch an actual group that I have that I need to put together. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so Cruising Power, we're going to go ahead and sign in. Then right here it says start an individual reservation or start a group. So we're going to go ahead and click on start a group. We are going to go to Royal Caribbean. This one that I'm setting up is for an Alaska cruise. They are going, let's go ahead and click on the calendar. Oh, I clicked on 2024. I was like, where is it? Ironically, their last name is Archer. So I always name this whatever it is. So if it's a wedding, an anniversary, a family reunion, I always name it. Your group type is going to be in affinity. Generally speaking, it's going to be affinity, unless it's like a promotional thing or it's a holiday or something like that. But you guys, just for this instance, we're going to go through affinity. I always do no deposit because that means the no deposits can be due at the time of booking, and they actually have some time to put the deposit down. And then we're going to hit search. Now it's going to pull up the different sailings, and I already know that it is the 8th of September, but I'm going to actually pull up my information so that way I do all of that. Okay. Okay, so they are doing the one that departs out of Seattle and returns back to Seattle. So it's September 8th, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. It's on Ovation of the Seas, destination is Alaska, departs out of Seattle. And then it's going to give you the interior, ocean view, and balcony. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to those prices because once loyalty points and different discounts and whatnot come into play, that might change. So never quote a cruise off of these numbers. It'll never be right. So we're going to go ahead and select the cruise that we're going with and then click select. And then right here under category type, I know that they want a balcony. So it's going to get rid of all of those. It's going to get rid of everything that isn't a balcony. Now we're going to scroll down here and they have, they are showing the, like what's available, right? There's ocean view balconies and obstructed ocean view balconies. This is going to tell you the number of cabins that are available. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do 2 there because there's only 2 available, and then 14 there. And then if you scroll down here, it's going to show you the minimum staterooms. The minimum staterooms for a group is 8. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and then, so it's minimum of 8. It's showing that I have 16, so I can put 16 here. And then I'm going to hit add. So now it shows that I have 16 added. So there's 16 rooms that I'm going to hold. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to allocate my staterooms, meaning I'm going to go in and actually pick which rooms I want to hold for my clients. Anything that's in purple is that 4D. Now I know a lot of people ask Krista, what does 4D stand for? It's an internal code. You guys don't get wrapped around that. It's just their internal code for that. It's going to show you what decks are available on decks, deck 13, deck 12, deck 11, 9, 8, so on and so forth. I have allocated 2, or I'm going to allocate 2. So I am going to go and I'm going to look to see what's available on these decks. So I always start low. So you guys can see here, there's some up front. These green ones are the ones that I can allocate for the obstructed. Now, what an obstructed view means is typically there may be a lifeboat in the way. There may be some part of the ship that is blocking, so they don't have just an open view to the ocean. They are going to see the ocean, but something's going to obstruct the view. So I can start allocating these ones or these ones. I'm just looking for 2 in the purple and 2 in the green. So I can look at these ones, but I'm going to look at all the decks because I like to kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. So deck 6, deck 7, deck 8, and because this is a group, I'm going to try to get the greens and the purples all in the same spot. So deck 8 is probably not where I'm going to want to go. Deck 9. Nope, there's no greens on that one. So I'm not going to go with deck 9. Oh, deck 10 is not one of them. Deck 11. Deck 11. 12. So it looks like those obstructed ocean views are, or ocean balconies are going to be on the lower ones, but I'm going to take a look. Solarium. All right, so let's go back to deck 7, I believe.
Krista, if you had a couple, the majority of everybody was a double occupancy, but then you had a couple of like triple occupancies, how would you go about that?
I'm going to go over that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That has to do with when you go to actually birth people. Right now, we're just setting up the group. That's going to deal with birthing. So I will go over that. Deck 7. Deck 7 does not want to show. Deck 8. Oh, come on, deck 7. I think you're the one that I need. Seven, let's go to 9. So there's purples and there's greens. So let's just go with 6. So we can do purples and greens. So we're going to do purple, select, purple, select. Now we're going to, so I've allocated these 2 rooms. Now we're going to go over here to obstructed view and we're going to pick we're going to pick obstructed ocean view. So we're going to pick these ones. So now we're just going to go, I like my people to be midship. I like them to be as close to midship as possible. So now we're going to go through here and we are going to select. This is going to take a moment to select all of them. And it's going to tell you how many more you have to go. Well, it's going to tell you how many you've selected.
Thank you
Krista,
so much.
Oh, go ahead.
I may have missed it, but you're selecting both obstructed and unobstructed cabins to give your
Yes.
clients a choice, or is that part of the booking process for a group?
So I know that my clients want balcony rooms. So I'm going with the only balconies that are available.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Mhm. All right, so I've allocated 14. So I've done 14 here and I've done 2 there. So now we're going to click continue. Giving me all the categories again. And then we're going to, so I've already allocated, you guys can see that I've allocated those ones. We've already gone through that. And then we're going to proceed to group details. So now we're going to go through, it shows 32 guests need dining. There's a total of 32 guests because this is based off of double occupancy, 16 rooms times 2 people, that's 32. I already know that they want the early dining. So we're going to go ahead and put 32 here. 32. And you guys can see here, there is 32 available on each of these. So there's nothing that would stop them from being able to get those together. Now understand that there's not going to be a table for 32, and they will try their best to put all 32 people in the same spot. Now we're not going to allocate group air because we're not doing air. So now it's going to show you guys the breakdown. It's going to show you named guests. I haven't named any guests. Unnamed guests is a total of $19,000, tour conductor credits, non-commissionable cruise fare, air add-ons, taxes and fees, other charges for a gross balance of $33,411.30. So if I were to get all 16 cabins booked at double occupancy, the total booking would be $33,000. Okay. It's going to show you down here, charges and credits by totals. It's going to show you here, this is the commission on those 16 cabins by double occupancy. So remember, it's 80% of that. So 2764.19 times 0.8, just over $2,200 is what I'll be making on this booking if I get all 16 cabins filled. If they're all double occupancy, right? So it could change if you end up having tertiary or quads. Or triples and quads. So you have the gross charges, the commission, net charges. Now remember, you guys, the commission, I find a lot of people, they're like, but if you take 16% of $33,000, it's more. And it's because there is a portion of the cruise that is non-commissionable. And that's what this NCCF is, non-commissionable cruise fare. $8,300 of this is non-commissionable. That is usually your port fees and your taxes. Is the part that's non-commissionable. That's the part that is commissionable is that 18 or is that. And so it may be a little bit more. There could be other things that factor into the non-commissionable cruise rate, but it's going to show you here, that's the gross amount, but your commission is based off of that. Now we can go through the group details. You can see here inventory 4D and 2E. Again, those are stateroom categories. Those are just internal codes you guys don't have to worry about. It's a standard group. I have allotted 2 rooms, 4D and 14 for 2E. The total fare for the first and second guest in this category is $1,142.22. The second is $1,071.22. The taxes and fees are here.
Can you add any of the gratuities and trip protection?
Yeah, when you go to book your actual client, I'll show you guys where that button is. And then view agency info. It's gonna just break things down for you. A lot of it is just more internal stuff that you guys don't have to worry about, but it's good, especially if you end up starting to add in like pre-hotels or airfare or anything like that. So you're gonna go ahead, again, here is that commission breakdown, net balance, but remember they're paying gross. And then finish. So now you have the group. The group is built. That is all it takes to build a group. Okay, it's not super hard, but it's understanding how to set that up. Now we have to build out the cruise, right? Right here, you guys can see it's going to break down the fees and whatnot. Deposit amount per stateroom is $500. So that's the deposit that's due. Their deposit is due by the 3rd of November. So that's one of the nice things about group bookings is that their deposits are kind of put out. And so anybody, even if you booked somebody on October 31st, their deposit date is going to be November 3rd. You guys can look at the payment schedule. This is going to show you the deposit when it's due, when final payment is due. So current deposit per stateroom is $500. It is due. It's saying that the deposit is due later. So current deposit amount per stateroom is $500 due 11 May. You guys, I wouldn't push it out that far. Final deposit amount per stateroom is due 10 June. Final payment is due 10 June. So everybody has to have their cruise paid off by the 10th of June. Now, what we're going to go do is now we are going to go to, you're going to go down here and you guys see where it says add individual reservation. Okay, this is where you guys are going to add in a reservation. So now it looks very similar to how you guys do an individual booking, right? You guys all know you go into an individual booking. The only difference is you've already declared what cruise it's going to be. So guests and flight, there is only 2. What the heck? That's because off of that, it's only based off of double occupancy, right? So I'm going to go through this first, and then we'll walk through how to add somebody with like a 3rd or 4th person. So we're going to go ahead and click 2, children 0, cruise only. Now, this is where you're going to go ahead and you're going to put in, they live in California. This is where you're going to go in and you're going to put their loyalty number. I got to look up her loyalty number real fast. Send a text message.
I'm assuming if they wanted airfare with their cruise, that's where you would do it, the Air City.
Yeah, but you would do air after you added their individual booking.
Okay, so do the booking first and then add it later.
So right here, see where it says cruise only?
Uh-huh.
You could go in and you could put like, you know, let's say they were flying. You could put in, where's Los Angeles? Los Angeles or whatnot.
So you would recommend doing the individual booking and then adding the airfare?
Yeah, I always say get the booking done and then do because what happens is when you book flight through the cruise line, they're going to suggest a flight that is appropriate for their cruise. And if you don't have a cruise booked yet, they can't look it up. So do
Correct.
Cruise only and then add airfare later.
Okay, thank you.
So you're welcome. So we're going to go in here. We're going to put all the promotional qualifiers because let's face it, we want to get the best deal for our clients as possible. So I went ahead and put in their loyalty number. And now it's going to show us the categories that we reserved. Ocean view balcony, obstructed ocean view balcony. But also what it's going to show you is other available rates, because maybe there's a better deal out there. Maybe when I put in their loyalty, maybe they had some better deal. So you guys always want to make sure, even though you have a group rate going, you want to make sure that you're always getting them the best rate. So we're going to go ahead and go Ocean View Balcony. And then we're going to come down here and click Stateroom. And now it's going to show you, these are the ones that you have allocated. These are the ones that you can pick from. So 6142 or 6146. So we're going to go to deck 6. Now you guys can always choose rooms outside of your allocation as well. You don't have to use the allocated rooms. That's why these, I believe, like if you were to click on this, you could swap it. So you could swap it. You could get rid of one and swap it for this one. We're going to deck 6 and we are going to 6142. 6142 or 6146 and select. And then we're going to go ahead. So now we have allocated, or we have selected 6146. That's the room they're going to go into. Proceed to guest details. Now, because I already put in her, loyalty number, it automatically populated the information for the cruise. It automatically put in her first and last name, her birthday, her loyalty number, so on and so forth. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to go to the second one, the second guest, and I'm going to search for his. His birthday is, I think this is his. Let's see. No, that's not. Sorry, guys, let me see when his birthday is.
Archer's spelled wrong.
Thank you. I still don't think that that's his birthday. Maybe it is. Yep, it is. So by putting in his loyalty number, it automatically updated his information. And then it's also going to connect this cruise to their loyalty number. Dining options. Confirmed waits the 5:15. They don't have any future cruise credit. Now, for those of you guys, has anybody ever seen this button right here where it says share certificate values? I wondered what the heck that was. So you guys, future cruise credit isn't as big of a thing anymore, but people do usually have it. Let's say that, let's say Pamela had a future cruise credit of $1,000. Mark only had 500, right? Let's say their cruise only cost 900. You could use that extra 100 on Pamela's and put it towards Mark. And so if you click on this, it will share the certificate. So if one is more than the cruise cost, it will apply the rest of it to the other person. We are going to put in my email address because I want emails going to me. And then I'm going to put in, so we always put in our email, and then I'm going to put in their phone number. All right, so now it's going to show you reservation pending. So over here, see where it says gratuities and options? We're going to click on gratuities and options. And we are going to add for all guests. So you guys can click on any of these buttons over here. Pre-post hotel, cross-reference. Cross-reference is if you are, let's say you're doing an individual booking, okay? You do an individual booking and you do like 3 individual bookings, but you want to make sure that they sit together at dinner. You want to make sure that they're going to be able to link up with excursions and stuff. You guys can cross-reference, meaning put other people's, connect them to other reservations so that they can do things still as a group. Special services, if you guys need to add anything in here, you guys can. Birthday, honeymoon, reunion, special meal. If it's a birthday, you guys can select the date, you guys can insert notes, and you guys can do it for both of your clients. So now we can go back to the reservation summary. And it's going to show you. It's under group ID this. It's an affinity, it's an ocean view balcony, stateroom, categories 4D, group name Archer Family Cruise. Total price $2508.44, deposit is $500, due 11 May 2023. They have not made any payments yet. Final payment is, this is the total, final payment is due June 10th. You guys can view payment and cancellation schedules. The stateroom is this stateroom. They're in an ocean view balcony room on deck 6. It is forward. It's this category. Their bedding configuration is together. Capacity, it is a room for 2. And I've berthed 2. Couch bed, none. Rollaway, no. If they needed a crib, if one of those 2 people was a baby, they could put a crib in the room. Here's your guest details. Make sure that you've put their names in accurately, their birth dates, citizenship, and loyalty numbers. They're under a standard group, gratuities and options. You've added gratuities on there for them. Options, group, it's a group gratuity, reservation level options. None, that's the bedding configuration. So now we're going to go ahead and go to final price. And you guys can see here, this is the amount, it's going to break it down. So the cruise is $638. This is just for one person. Your non-commissionable cruise fare is $260. Group gratuities is $112. Vacation subtotal $1,010. Port fees and taxes. So the total is $1,254.22 for her, $1,254.22 for him, with a total of $2,508. If you view the commission, the cruise percentage is 16%, so that's $102.08, $102.08. Total $204.16, and finish.
Your commission tracking form, would you do the individual or would you have to do a group commission tracking form?
Individual. For every reservation number, you're going to want a commission tracking form.
And say you don't sell all of your cabins that you have on hold, you'd have to dump the remainder before the final payment date.
Correct. You would dump them, or they'll fall off. They'll fall off too. And also, one of the big things that people always say is like, oh, well, my client thought that they were going to have 16 cabins, but now they're only going to have, now they're only going to have 10. You guys can advertise this group. Okay, you guys can advertise this group. You guys can put that out there to the population. Just because it's the Archer family cruise, right? Doesn't mean that they have to know everybody in the group, right? You can, because you want to fill up that group, you want to get that, the amenities or whatever. And so you're going to want, hey, I got a fantastic price. I mean, I guarantee you guys this price is going to change. It's not going to stay, under $1,300 per person. It's Alaska. They're usually really expensive. So $2,500 for two people, $2,500 for two people to Alaska for a week. That's pretty darn amazing, right? So you guys can see, it's going to now show you, it shows you their reservation number. It's also going to show their group reservation number, group name. It's a traditional group. I'm the agent. It's on Ovation of the Seas, going to Alaska, double occupancy, Royal Caribbean. The cruise is 8 September, 7-night standard group. You guys can see all the price breakdowns here.
Hey, Krista,
There has to be another way.
Yes.
when it was asked about the commission tracking form, you said for each reservation, you have to do one.
Yep.
So for this particular cruise, there's 32 people that's potentially going. So you'd have to do 32
So there's,
or 16.
it's only 16
since it's two.
cabins. There's only 16 cabins. So you'll have 16 reservation numbers if you completely fill the group.
So you'd have to fill out 16 commission tracking forms, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is they're going to, when they pay out to Archer, it's going to be under a reservation number. And that's what they do with the commission tracking form, is they base the reservation off of the reservation number.
So a question, please. So
Mhm.
when you are doing that, you're going to go into the individual commission form. You're not going to go to the group one where you can list everybody in one group.
I've always done it individual.
Okay.
I've
So
never even clicked on the group button.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so there you have the reservation summary. Now, if you go to make new booking for group, we're right back at that individual, right? But it's only got the 2 adults. So now you have somebody who wants to put 3 people in there. Let me exit out of here. Yeah.
Just an FYI, because I booked a group cruise on Royal Caribbean, and
Mhm.
I've tried 3 times to enter the information under the group commission form, like the instruction says. So on the website, and it never took the commission form. So, and I was wondering why. So I think that's the answer. I'm supposed to go into the individual one, but on the website, it does say go to group bookings. So just an FYI.
Okay, I will for sure. I will make sure that I get an explanation on that. And then, but like I said, I've never done it that way. I've always just gone into individual, but I will look into that for sure.
Okay, thank
You're welcome. Okay, so we have here like the front page of the group. You guys can look at the amenities. Let me see where it's at. I guess that's, I don't know. All right, right here, group amenity summary. Right now, I don't really have anything available because I don't have anything deposited. Yeah, I have a group in there, but nothing has been deposited. But you guys can look at your gifts and what it takes. So let's say you want to do onboard credit. Here's, you could allocate 2 of your points towards a $25 onboard credit. $25 off per stateroom. Now, has anybody here ever heard of doing fundraisers, doing group cruises for fundraisers, and wondered how that worked? No, nobody's ever.
Never heard of it, but I would love to know.
So you guys, you know how schools and stuff have like wrapping paper sales and cookie sales, and it's like the PTA is trying to sell stuff to we want to redo the library or get a new playground, right? They have to do fundraisers. So what you can do is you can offer a fundraiser cruise. And what happens is you build the group cruise just like everybody else, but you guys see right here where it says $25 fundraiser. Instead of your client getting $25 onboard credit, $25 per stateroom is going to go to that fundraiser. And there's a couple of different ones. There is a $100 fundraiser, $50 fundraiser, $25 fundraiser, $75. I think that's the increments, 25, 50, 75, and 100. And you guys you use the points. So like if you end up getting, if you end up having a certain amount of points, then you can allocate that towards a fundraiser. Absolutely, Brooke. Absolutely. I know that Archer did do a training at one point on fundraiser group cruises. And so I would probably watch that for sure, because I know the basics of it. But you guys can scroll through here. You guys can see the different things that you guys can add. And it'll tell you 1 bottle per stateroom. So for 2 points, you could put a bottle of wine in every one of your staterooms, right? This is wine, 2 pairs per stateroom. So everybody gets flip-flops, cookies, bags, fruit platters, towels, whatever. Evian water, 4 1-liter bottles per stateroom. So you guys can add those things on there under your group amenities. Okay, now we are going to go add a exit out of here. Sorry, there was a question up here. I apologize. So you could advertise and add strangers to the group. Yeah, Austin, absolutely. There are people that build groups and just advertise the group. So has anybody ever seen somebody create a flyer that says like 20, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Group cruise includes chocolate covered strawberries, champagne, $25 onboard credit, and whatever. And they're advertising that, right? They're advertising that to the general public. It's because they're putting them into a group. So there are lots of people that just create group cruises, and then nobody knows each other. Nobody needs to know each other in the group. It's not like you have some meeting area where everybody in the group has to meet together. They don't even need to know that they're in a group cruise. How do you know how many points you've allotted? It will, as you book people in there, it's going to show you. And you guys can buy points.
So if you use those points, it won't take away from like your commission or anything, would it?
No, that's part of doing the group, is because you get benefits for the group.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we're going to go into start individual reservation. Let me go to home. I hate it when it goes to the screen. So you guys can create an individual room, right? So you would process the room, whatever. When you go to the group, and I'm going to hope that this works right. Let's see. Sure. No, I don't want to do it that way. There is a button. Okay. I'm going to go look at something in the group real fast. Okay, so let's go through here. I'm hoping that this works, because if it doesn't, because you know websites are finicky. If it doesn't work, you guys can always do You guys can always call and add the stateroom to the group too. So let's go California. Search.
While we have a moment, I just
Mhm.
want to thank you for this presentation because I booked a cruise 2 weeks ago and I have been trying to put in this group commission for the longest and my mentor didn't know. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome. Come on. Come on. All right. Let's go balcony. Mm.
Do you ever book on waitlisted rooms?
Do what?
Do you ever book on waitlisted rooms?
No. So you're gonna find your group. Then you're going to find, okay, so I have 4 adults because that's the room I chose, right? Balcony. It's gonna give you all the balconies. I have it attached to the Archer family cruise. Now you can choose whichever one you want, right? You want an ocean view, you want an ocean view balcony, you want an obstructed ocean view. So let's go with ocean view balcony. They're going to be different classifications because different classifications hold different amounts of people. Ocean view balcony. So let's go ahead and select this one. Stateroom. And they were on deck 6. They are in 6146. So they are right here. So now I've put them in 6144, which is the room right next door to that other one that I did. Proceed to guest details. And then you'll just input all of the info like normal. And then it'll show up in your group booking. I have a stupid question. I'm set to deploy for Hurricane Ian disaster recovery. And if I get downtime, is there a way I can do this group booking on mobile? Lisa, you can always do it. I've never done it on my phone. But you can always call. You can always call the cruise line. You guys, some people don't want to deal with doing a group booking on the computer. They just don't want to. You guys can call the group department at any cruise line and they will help set it up for you. So you guys can do it that way as well. So if this is all just way beyond your whatever, for whatever reason, right? You guys can call them. Now, obviously, I don't have a group of 4, so I can't input this information, but then you would review book and then it would show up in the group. Any questions for me?
I have a question. So once they're in the system, because I'm learning the back end of how to book online, because I was just calling.
Mhm.
Can I actually change some of their cabins around? Or do they have to stay with the same cabin or room?
So the problem, so here's the thing. If you change, so are you talking about like if they decided they want to go from like interior to balcony?
No, not necessarily upgrade, but just kind of put them all together. Because I have some on the third deck and some on the sixth deck.
Gotcha. So understand that anytime you move a cabin, it's very different than hotels. Whenever you move a cabin, it's whatever the going rate is. So let's say that you booked them and it was $1,000 per person. If you move them into a new cabin, it's whatever the price is now.
Okay, so just
Now,
keep them. Okay,
now, who knows? Maybe the price now is cheaper than the price that it was.
right.
I don't know. But
Okay.
understand that if you move cabins, it's whatever the rate is right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, any other questions? Any other questions? Let's see. Do you know that each passenger must have a US visa to travel? I know they must have a passport. So Bridget, couple of things about that, both of those statements. It is not a requirement to have a passport to cruise. And I know this is a controversial question that a lot of people ask. People always ask, what do you mean I don't have to have a passport? Closed loop cruises, you do not need to have a passport on. Now, anybody that's ever been to any of my cruise trainings will tell you that I would never let my clients leave the country without a passport. And if they were adamant about not getting a passport, I would probably have them sign something somewhere. Now, I always tell people, ask the cruise line for the specific cruise to make sure that it is okay to have a that it is a closed loop cruise. Now, when it comes to visas, visas have to do with individual countries. So you'll have to look up the individual country. You're not going to need a country for the United States if you are an American citizen. What visas are, you guys, for those of you that don't know what a visa is something that you have to go to certain countries because they want to know when are you coming, when are you leaving, and where are you staying while you're there. So that's what a visa is for. So if you're a US citizen, you don't need a visa to be in the United States. Right now, if, let's say you went to New Zealand or you went to Australia or where else have there was somewhere else I've been that needed a visa. There's a couple of other countries, but just look it up. Do I need to have a visa for this country? Visas are very easy to do. I mean, they do cost money, but they do attach them to your passport. So it's not like back in the day when you used to actually have to print something out. Now they electronically attach it to your passport. Oh, they're from the Caribbean, then they might. You would have to look that up. Question. So what you have done here for the group booking is 16 rooms for double occupancy and X amount of individual bookings for any other number of guests in the rooms. So this is a group of 16 cabins, double occupancy. If I want to start adding other group, like if I want to add a family of 3 to the group, it's not going to take away from my allocation because it's a room for 3. One of the things that people also don't know about cruises is that they're not all cabins hold the number of people, the same number of people. So for instance, let's say you booked a room for 2, and then all of a sudden they wanted to put a 3rd person in their room, they'll have to change cabins. Because when you book a room for 2, they're going to put you in a cabin that only holds 2 people. And I had this backwards happen. I booked a cruise for 3 people, and one of the people canceled, and they actually changed my cabin. So I was no longer in a room for 3. I was then in a room for 2. If they are traveling from the Caribbean, do they need a passport? Sorry, ignore that. Okay, makes sense. Thanks. Where do I find the fundraiser webinar? Bridget, so all of the things that Archer Travel does, they have a YouTube page. If you, like I said, you guys, if you're not following, there are certain people that you guys should absolutely be following, but one of them that you guys should be following is the YouTube page for Archer, and they have all of their trainings on there. All of the travel cafe things that they do is on there.